Am I the idiot for not telling my boyfriend he's adopted? Don't forget to like and subscribe, and share your opinion down below. My boyfriend, 23M, and I, 23F, visited my boyfriend's parents for a dinner about a week before Christmas 2019. My boyfriend mentioned to all of us that he might like one of those Ancestry DNA kits for Christmas. After dinner, my boyfriend and his dad went to look something, leaving me alone with his mom. His mom told me that I shouldn't get my boyfriend a DNA kit for his birthday. I asked her why, and she hesitantly told me that my boyfriend was adopted as a baby. She said that she never told him because she didn't want him to feel different from his two other siblings, who are both their biological children. She's always treated him the same as his siblings, and she really would move heaven and earth to help my boyfriend. But then she mentioned that she's been thinking about telling him. She was nervous that he'd buy an Ancestry DNA kit for himself if he didn't get one for Christmas, and that would reveal that he isn't biologically related to several of his cousins who have submitted the test. She said she thinks he might be angry at her for not telling him earlier, so she's afraid to tell him he's adopted. Then, she had an idea: I could tell him he's adopted. Her reasoning: my boyfriend really loves me and we will probably get married soon. I am very good at communication problem solving, and he is generally less prone to anger when he's around me, so he might take the news better. But I still didn't think he would take the news well. So I told his mom that there was no way I would tell him he was adopted. She relented and agreed that I didn't have to tell him out of the blue, but she said I would probably know if my boyfriend was going to get a DNA kit, and if he does, I should tell him before his results come in. I told her that I didn't want to take any part in any family drama and that I wouldn't do it. Then, my boyfriend and his dad came back, so our conversation ended abruptly. My boyfriend did not get a DNA kit for Christmas, and like his mom worried, he went and bought himself one. I knew he had bought himself one, but I still was very firm about not getting involved in his family drama. And I didn't tell his mom he'd gotten one because really, she had 23 years to tell him and she didn't. My boyfriend got his results back about 2 months later and found out his DNA didn't match his cousin's DNA. He spent a lot of time on the phone arguing with his parents and was downright furious that his parents never told him he was adopted. He hasn't spoken to them for most of 2020, and he is still incredibly angry over it. His mom called me and told me I could have avoided this by just telling him before he took the test or by telling her he was going to take the test, but I told her I wouldn't get in the middle of things and I stand by that. She thinks I am the idiot. So, am I the idiot? Not the idiot, but definitely tell him that she told you before she gets to him first. Tell him that you felt like it was her responsibility to tell him and that you hoped she would do so before you got a test, as she did say she was thinking about doing it. Hopefully he will understand that you were put in an impossible position with no right answers, but be prepared for him to feel angry about this for a while. This was not your fault at all, but that may be difficult for him to recognize right away, so be patient. This probably will damage your relationship for a little while and that's completely unfair, but it will be way worse if he finds out later from someone else that you knew. You are the idiot for not telling him as soon as you knew. Disgusting. You knew who he was while he didn't. You took that from him. What if he wants to find his bio parents? What if he has a sibling who dies a month before he finds them? My friend will never get to know his mother who loved him so much, because his parents didn't tell him he was adopted, and he couldn't choose to seek her out when he was of age. They took him from his mother, then they took his mother from him. That's what it is like to be adopted. Everyone sucks here. His mom should have just told him if she was worried he'd do the DNA test himself. But you should have told her so that your boyfriend could find out from someone who loves him and not have to put 2 and 2 together on the internet. I feel bad for your boyfriend. Am I the idiot for taking in my daughter full-time and kicking my girlfriend's son out? This is a doozy, and I think I might actually be the idiot, but there isn't much of a choice in my opinion. I am 46 meters living with long-term girlfriend, 39F, her son, 17M18, my girlfriend works as a middle school teacher while I work as an engineer, and I own the home we live in. I inherited the home. I share 50/50 custody with my ex-wife, and she called me on a Wednesday telling me I needed to get our daughter 17F early. We go week by week, so this was very early, and I asked if everything was okay. My ex told me our daughter was pregnant and she was fine with her. Not going to lie, it was like a bomb went off in my mind. I wasn't angry at all, but my baby having a baby let off a ton of emotions. I left work to go and get her. She was outside her mom's house crying because her mom had kicked her out. I took her home and we had a long discussion about her options and about what she wanted to do. She decided on an abortion and I made the appointment. While at the appointment she broke down and decided she couldn't go through with it. I understood and told her she had the home and I could help her with whatever she needed. We are now several months out and my grandson is 7 weeks old. I love him to death. His father is in the picture, but not much. He pays child support but it's pennies, and I'm not going to lie. Maybe it's the age, but having a baby around isn't as easy as I remember. My daughter is going to a local community college and plans to go to a local state school in the fall, so I think she's doing fantastic. However, my girlfriend and her son aren't happy with this. My wife's son has started complaining about the state of the house because of the baby stuff, the noise levels now, the smells, and pretty much hates having a baby around. I told him to knock it off, and his mom agreed with him a bit. I told them there isn't a discussion to be had and I was done listening. My grandson woke us up last weekend and girlfriend's son had a full-on meltdown. He screamed at my daughter and tossed over my grandson's swing, breaking it while telling my daughter she was a whore that needed to leave. I told him that was it. He was out. His mother protested and I told her she can join him because there isn't a choice for me. My daughter and the baby come first, and her deadbeat son can find his dad to cry to. I admit I was harsh, but so was he. 3 days later I had him served with an eviction and he was stunned. His mom has been begging, but my daughter asked me not to give in. Not the idiot. Time to lose the girlfriend who's okay with her child behaving violently toward yours. Change your locks. Also, how can your ex-wife kick out a child she's been assigned 50% custody of? She may owe your daughter compensation. I have some sympathy for your girlfriend and her son. They didn't have a choice to sign up for a baby in the house. He's right that babies scream and stink and kill your sleep. I've got a couple, and they're hard. But you clearly are doing this whatever they think, so honestly, it's probably best to just break up with your girlfriend and let them move on. Everyone sucks here. This might be the best answer here. Am I the idiot for getting mad at my boyfriend for throwing away a drawing? I had an older sister who was 11 years older. She was like a second mom to me and was taken away from me because of an selfish evil man. She passed away when she was only 19 and left behind an infant daughter. About a week before she passed away, she came over and brought a big piece of paper over and asked me if I wanted to draw a paper with her, which I overly excited to do with her. We draw flowers, hearts, the sun, random animals and even cars. It wasn't the most organized or award-winning picture, but I loved it so much that I even got my sister to frame it for me. When she died I was heartbroken. I came to love that picture even more and brought it to every apartment I moved in. I always had it hanged up in the living room, or if I had roommates, my room. My boyfriend I've been dating recently moved into my apartment because he lost his job. He's been to my apartment plenty of times and has even commented on my picture, making a joke that I have children decorating my house. I did explain to him many times how much this picture meant to me. When he moved it, he asked me to take it down because it's embarrassing to have up when he has friends over, and I always say no. We ended up getting into an argument over it before I went to work about the painting, and when I came back it was gone. I never been so upset at someone for breaking or throwing away my stuff before in my life. I yelled at him to tell me where he put it and all he said was the dump. He acted like it wasn't a big deal and even said it's just a picture, we can make a new one together. I kicked him out even though he had new place to go and didn't give him time to collect all of his stuff. He'd been texting me asking if he could come back because he doesn't have a place to go. Am I the idiot for kicking out my boyfriend for throwing away my picture even though he didn't have a place to go? Not the idiot. He's the one who decided having to tell the story of why the picture mattered to you, or even saying it's just a picture. Dude, in response to any harassment from his friends was more embarrassing than respecting your wishes and keeping a roof over his head. And I'm betting no one actually had a problem with it besides him. He can deal with the consequences. Not the idiot. Don't let him come back unless he has the drawing back and restored from any possible damage. He clearly violated your boundaries, and that is a massive red flag. You made it clear multiple times, which means he fully knew what he was doing and just hoped you would be enough of a pushover to not kick him out and drop the issue. If anybody calls you the idiot, defend yourself, because the real ass needs to learn his place. He is your guest. He had zero rights to throw it out. He could have just hid it, but no, he threw it in the dump. He has chosen his own fate. Actions have consequences, and he should have thought of that. I'm sorry for the rant, it just makes me so angry. Not the idiot a million times. Not the idiot. That's a huge violation, coming into your apartment and throwing away something you cherished so much, even after explaining how much it meant several times. Red flag right there. This is a sign to move on.